Ace G, and we got none other than my Ace Boom Coon. Um,
Mine
oh,
don't matter.
Mind over matter, right.
Mine don't matter, off grid.
Yeah.
Or Lamar, man.
Yeah.
I don't duck from the government.
It ain't that I forgot. He got so many tags, you know what I'm saying? I be trying to, differentiate which one to use, but nevertheless, we got Mind Over Matter in the building. And, you know, for some of you who may not know, years ago I relocated to basically Birmingham. And, he just touched down in Birmingham probably a little under a week ago. So we're just gonna ask some, general questions about his first impressions of being down here, and being someone who's been to multiple states all across the nation, even been out of the country in Africa. So when you first got off the plane, well, not off the plane, off the Greyhound actually. Like, what was some of your initial impressions on Birmingham, just getting fresh off the bus and being in that downtown area?
That old town feeling, old buildings and not necessarily dilapidated because we wasn't in that area, but the downtown area, seeing the old, I think that bridge where you schooled me up from, I think that bridge was almost like 90 years old or something like that. Mm-hmm. And just looking at the historical places downtown, some of the murals and everything, that was interesting. Never been to Alabama this deep like this before. I think I've been through here years ago, but not like how I am now.
Okay, that's what's up. So one of the things we've been chopping it up, and we're gonna kind of just hop into it. When you first touched down, I think Birmingham, either the weekend before. Actually, I think the weekend before. Yeah, go ahead and chime in because
It was exactly. I think that happened on the 13th. I got here on the 16th, I believe.
Okay, so yeah,
it was like 3 days or something like that.
Right, so it was that weekend before.
Yeah.
It was multiple shootings.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, maybe between 25 to 35 people who I got shot.
Right.
Usually, with me being from Chicago, usually you will hear those type of numbers come from somewhere like Chicago and maybe other places. And I know Birmingham has its fair share of violence. But what are you just thinking at being fresh off fresh in town 3 days after this happened? Like, what's your impression or thoughts on, that particular type of violence?
I'm just thankful that I'm the type of person that's aware. I have access to people that live there, and I don't have to go by what a podcaster or somebody in the news says, because you can severely get misconstrued. I had heard through the news media that it was massive shooting. It was a mass shooting. 14 people shot at some event. A grandmother, the grandmother's daughter, and the daughter's son, and another man. And another incident that happened hours earlier, all in the same night. Looked on YouTube, seen a few different things, but you dig a little bit deeper, then you start to talk with the locals, and you find out a little bit more background on it. And in the end, yeah, definitely senseless killings going on, and it's sad because this is I consider it a black area, and they can be progressive. It's just that they need something. They need community outreach and outside people to come in.
Right. So, it seems to be like a recurrent thing with, I don't want to say poverty-stricken, but black neighborhoods, because some areas, the people could make the area, poverty-stricken, or, the situation, I don't know, it's just like when you go to these urban areas, you see the dilapidation in the, with the residential homes, but in some areas where it looks pretty nice, but it still may be like a portion of violence. Right. And this tends to be going on across the whole entire nation. So as a people, like, I don't even know how to direct the question. Like, why is this the theme with black people across the nation, whether it be Birmingham, Chicago, LA, New York?
That's a good question.
Why is this the underlying theme with our people?
That's a good question. Why is it that, if I can look at my examples of things that I've seen in let's say like Richmond, Virginia, Los Angeles, Hot Springs, Arkansas, South Carolina, and out here in Birmingham, and it does make you wonder, why is it that there's a certain area of town where you see the familiar nigga shit, and then you drive a couple of miles up further, and you see the manicured lawns, you see civility and thriving economy, and it's like, damn, I'm not even driving an hour away. I'm 10, 15 minutes away, and it'll make you wonder what it is, but the more you visit it and you see, you gotta be real with yourself and say that it's the people that live in that community. They're the sole cause of that. You know, finger can be blamed on mayors and different things like that, but the people that live in that area, you are 100% in charge of what goes on up in there. You have to end up having that feeling of, you know, this is where I want to live, this is where I choose to live, and I don't want to have to be having a head on a swivel and do all this other shit that I don't have to go through if I walk 10 minutes up the street. You know what I mean? So I place the blame on the community, man.
So is it ownership though? Like in a sense, let's say we, earlier we drove past a particular project in Birmingham, and I don't know if it stood out, but like you kind of don't notice, like you kind of notice that the grass may not be cut, and
right.
It's maybe litter some places and stuff like that. And these are apartment buildings that black people don't own, but do reside there. Should they care? I think they should care. They live there, regardless if you own the building or not. But then, like you said, we drove up a couple blocks, and then you see these nice homes with the manicured lawns and everything. Just it's thriving. It looks beautiful. But 2 blocks down, you got people staying in apartment buildings where the grass is crazy, and stuff all over the place. Like, what's up with the mind state of that? Is it ownership? Like, just because they don't own it, they don't feel obligated to take care of it?
Yeah, I feel it's ownership. Just like where we at right now. I see the brother across the street, he mows the lawn over there. I see him manicuring the lawn over there. He taking pride. He feel like, this is my shit. I own my shit. I want my shit to look nice. So you look at the people that's down in the area where he's at, they don't own that, so they feel like no sense of ownership, no sense of responsibility. This ain't my shit. I'm just here, But let somebody black or a stranger come through. Who is you? Nigga act like patrol. They own it all. So
right.
Who is you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
ain't cut the grass in 8 months.
Matter of fact, if somebody black came and started cutting the grass, wait a minute, who are you? So it's the entitlement thing of this my hood, but then when somebody point out, well, why does it look like this? Then it's going, this ain't my hood. We just over here. So yeah, man, it's an educational thing, man. It all boils down to education and community, and obviously people that live like that, they haven't been properly educated nor properly politicized as a way to recognize that this is your area, this is you, all this is on you. Now once you clean, once you get in order your area, then you can go to City Hall and the clergymen and the elders and different things like that, aldermen in different areas, and then you can get at them and point the finger and ask about money being appropriated, this and that. But when you got Taki chips bags in black and miles on the ground, you can't be talking about the white man did this and that. Right. Come on.
No, that's a great point. We as black people, we can place a lot of blame on other races that have done this or benefited from this and whatever.
Yeah.
But at some point, we got to take accountability for our own neighborhoods, and we should take accountability first before, like you said, even pointing the finger at other other races and looking at the political standpoint of things and letting that be the main cause of stuff instead of looking at ourselves and saying, like, what can we do right now? We're right here.
Blame game. The blame game.
Right.
One of the things that I noticed was that about that murder, the murders that happened, not murder, the murders, the multiple mass shootings that happened. The news camera was down there, and they interviewed somebody that lives down there, and the brother said, the mayor don't care, and the police department, and I'm thinking like, I hate to hear that, because it's like, so you think they knew somebody was coming down there and they allowed it? Like we gotta stop with the white man did this and that. You know what I'm saying? Put the white man in a position to have to answer to shit that you caught him on. This is shit that niggas is doing. It's everybody knows it. Niggas is doing this shit, and to bring up the mayor and the police and all that, it's that blame game, and we get caught up in that, blaming somebody else. Mm-hmm. I mean, and people should be sick of that, man. I know I hate hearing about the racial shit when we got to deal with genocidal shit right here on the scene, immediate shit.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. So let me ask you this. You know, we can. What I like to do is not be the ones that's pointing out the problems and not offer any solutions. So
Right.
obviously, it's a shitload of solutions we do need to come up with to kind of combat all these problems. But I think we can just maybe hit on one or two solutions just based off the conversation we having. So for let's take your average typical project, you know, people, you know, chilling out. That's where they live at. So there's nothing wrong with chilling in wherever you live at. But so far as making it a productive place that's visually pleasing, not only that, but also being productive with the people that live in that particular project, if you want to call it that. What would be some of the first steps? Like if you had your own project that you had to turn around, what would be one of the first things, or one or two things that you would implement to turn a place that's kind of bad, kind of ran down into a productive community?
The first thing I would do is call a tenant community meeting and meet for everybody to attendance. It's a mandatory attendance for everyone who lives here, and nobody who doesn't live there it would be in attendance of that. And the agenda would be to making a list that we all can agree on things that's a detriment to where we live at. That's the first thing, detriment, and that's everything will be on the board from drug selling to homelessness to the baby kids hanging out to the nigga that do this, the female that do
Not
this,
the baby.
everything has to be on the table. Remember, it's a community. They live in close like sardine. They pack like sardine cans in the project.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like so everybody should be involved with this meeting. And like I said, we compiled a list of the immediate things that vexes people. Because everybody that live there don't like what go on there. That's a myth that people think that everybody who live there like want to be there and they belong. There's people there who have to be there. They trying to struggle to get up out of there. Then you got the lifelong members of, you know what I'm saying, that project badge, you know what I mean, that's supposed to be good in every state. On the project, you know what I'm saying? But that would be one of them. Then the second one would be immediately implementing that plan. Because just because it's projects, it don't have to be violent, it don't have to be dirty, it don't have to be dilapidated, it don't have to be that way. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you look at the Million Man March. You know what I'm saying? You see that long picture of everybody down in that way, I forget what it's called. See all those men there and everything. It's like you get a good feeling, but just imagine if all those people had stayed where they lived at, and all those men that went, let's say people from Birmingham that went up there. So all the men that traveled to the Million Man March from Birmingham, they should all went to the local Home Depot in Birmingham with some trash bags and clean up their motherfucking area. That's a start right there.
Right.
That's a start.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's appropriating time and usefulness of what we should be doing, because the grouping together and the blaming the people in City Hall, they don't do nothing.
Okay. Now, you know, I definitely agree with you. And that's maybe, you know, and this goes for all parts of America. We're not just singling out Birmingham, but with him just recently getting here and, you know, observing some of the things and hearing certain things, you know, this is a problem that's going on around across the entire nation. So it's definitely not singling out Birmingham in no type of way. You know, he's originally from Jersey by way of LA. I'm originally from Chicago, been here for the last 4 to 5 years and lived in Georgia, and have seen this in every state that I pretty much went to it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so this is a national problem, if not global problem, you know, because even fucking London or whatever, England got their hoods and Canada got their hoods. So, you know, it's a mentality of our people that's kind of, you know, fucked up all across the board, you know, and the only person that's going to take care of us is us. So, you know, and in these projects or wherever, in these neighborhoods, you know, it starts with us before we start blaming people. So, yeah, any last thoughts you want to throw out there before we wrap it up on this one?
Yeah, the particular projects down here, I think it's called the Avondale projects, and we rode through there that first night, and I had never seen nothing like that before. I've seen projects and everything in other cities. They usually renovated the projects. They kind of like put something over the bricks and, you know, put plants down there. You still tell some projects, but they kind of like modernize it. I ain't seen one in a long time where it's still like the 70s. Brick, steel, you know what I'm saying, 1,000 painted over, rails, shit like that. But what really got me about this project down here was the church sits right there in the project. It blends in with the project. It's made of the same bricks that the projects are made of. I never seen that. I've seen churches near projects where, obviously people that live in the project, they go to that church, but I never seen a church sit inside on the land of the projects. To me, that's like some slave type shit. That's that slave quarters type shit, man. And it adds to the understanding of how this shit been going on for this long. You know what I mean? Because they remember, this is the Bible Belt. That's another thing too. This is the Bible Belt, so underneath all that goes on over there, the killing, all that shit, somebody will still sit back and clasp their hands together and say, well, hopefully Jesus can fix it. And that's one of the long-standing problems of hoping that somebody else can fix it or religion is going to fix it. And that's not the case.
Do you think black people, spirit, in my opinion, this is me talking now, spirituality is what it is. It's whatever you choose to believe in. And if it's true to you, cool. If that's what you believe in, cool. But is it fair for black people to have this belief in whatever religion or whatever doctrine they believe in and sit back and wait for that to manifest itself in reality on some spiritual plane and pretty much sit and watch all the bullshit go on with their people and just say, God gonna take care of it?
I feel that a lot of times the spirituality and the belief in religion is a cop-out. I feel like it's a cop-out. It's like waiting on the government, waiting on your EBT card to get loaded up, waiting on an EBT card, waiting on PPP loan or unemployment. I feel like it's a cop-out because you can say, well, I got a check coming, so I don't need to be doing nothing. I feel like when you have that religion, you can sit back and just be like, well, I'm gonna put it in this lap over here, and that's the main thing that hold people back is waiting on somebody else. Because it's a learned thing. Religion is like a learned thing, and I don't, and I hate, it's like down here, when you in the Bible Belt, you gotta be careful talking about black people with the God thing, because that's all they know. Mm-hmm. It's almost like telling them, fuck Jesus and all that.
You see how I phrased the question, because I don't never want to disrespect nobody's spirituality.
How you phrase that shows that you've been around, because the average person, they don't understand that. That's like when I was in Baton Rouge, and the Hebrew Israelites had came down there, and they was talking with black people about the one brother who got choked out behind some Sterling, something I think his name was. Remember when I got choked out behind the cigarettes and all that stuff years ago? Yeah. And so the Hebrew Israelites, they go down to Baton Rouge, and they down there with the white man is smack. And you got to think about it. You in Baton Rouge, you in an area where blacks co-mingle with white trash, with rednecks. So they don't see them all like that. They have stories of white grandmothers taking care of the nation that they ate, and their mama taking white kids in, and they have a community type thing. So you can't go down there with this white man who this and that. They didn't even recognize that. Mm-hmm. So that shows you how deep it is, that misunderstanding between black people from East, black people on the West Coast, Midwest, and down South. If you ain't traveling around, you won't know that. You think you coming with some shit like, I'm leave these white folks alone, and they like, these white folks alone, white folks can save me at certain times. I ain't talking about no goofy shit, on some real shit, on some civility, community type shit. So down here, you gotta be careful when you talking about spirituality and the Bible, this and that, because that's all they know. They rely upon that. But it is sad to see that they don't know that hasn't worked so far. Or maybe you're doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's all in how you present it to them. But yeah, you definitely gotta be careful with how you present that, because spiritual, it don't work. It absolutely don't work. Religion is a private thing that you should do privately for your own private matters. If somebody has a task, like if I call you and say I got a flat tire over here, you shouldn't go to your Bible and this, that. You should come over there and help me. Then maybe later on, commune with God or the angels or the apostles or whatever, and then do that right there. But for immediate shit, you need to immediately put your shoes on and get immediately busy with it.
Exactly. All right, we're going to sign off for right now. It's Ears to the Street with Factor Entertainment Meet. We got Mind Over Matter, and we'll be back. Definitely. All this week. Oh, yeah, we're about to hit them. But y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. We out.
Oh, y'all forgot that I stopped.